Shalom, shalom, call haloyim Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Ba'ashem Rakakudash, Shanyukubad, Gadwala Requab, Jaquanim Nawa, Washalayakim Nawa. That's the belongings to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and Shalom wa Barakim la Bakayim Shalayasharala. And that's peace and blessings to the elect of Israel. And as always, may a double portion of the Holy Spirit be put upon all the brothers that are still offering their bodies as a living sacrifice to push out this word in truth and in sincerity. So really quickly, I just wanted to bring out this article from RT, and I got the notification on my phone. And of course, it's an interesting read. It's really kind of repetitive, and you get the whole entire gist after just reading the first few paragraphs, and especially the title, which says, Putin orders start of mass vaccination against COVID-19 in Russia will begin next week with key workers given priority. And as we read throughout the article, then basically it says that the participation in this vaccination is voluntary. But we know that it's going to get to the point where it's not going to be voluntary anymore, and it's going to be mandatory. And this is nothing more than a precursor to the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. And if you're at the point now where you're so faithless and you have such a weak mind where you think you really need to get that vaccine to keep your job or to stay safe, then you're most definitely going to get the mark of the beast, especially because right now the economy, it hasn't crashed. Everything is still kind of floating above water. But when the economy crashes and then the microchip, the mark of the beast, is made mandatory, well, you basically showed what kind of faith you have right now when only this vaccine is just a precursor. So that's the biggest reason why we preach against this vaccination. And we even try not to even say that so straightforward because our videos are even being taken down. But let's read this article and then we'll grab some scriptures. It says, President Vladimir Putin has ordered the start of a large-scale vaccination against coronavirus in Russia by the end of next week. Medics and teachers will be the first to get the shot, and participation will be voluntary. Russia's pharma industry is ready to meet the challenge, Putin said during a government teleconference on Wednesday. He explained that the amount of doses of the pioneering Sputnik 5, formula already produced will reach 2 million in the coming days. So they're expecting within the next week, that at least 2 million people are going to get vaccinated in Russia. 2 million. I'd ask you to organize the work in a way that would allow the start of large-scale vaccination by the end of next week, the president told Deputy Prime Minister Tatiana Golikova. She promised to report back when the government is ready to fulfill the task, but Putin tersely responded by saying that he didn't want a report, but an actual start to vaccination. So they're about it. They're trying to do it, and they're trying to get it done quickly. They want you to be vaccinated, which is why I said through the Spirit, I'm pretty sure that very soon it's going to be voluntary, but very soon they're going to say, you know what? There isn't enough people getting this vaccination, and they're going to write it into legislature and make it mandatory. And if you don't get it, there's going to be some kind of judgment. Guaranteed. It says participation will be voluntary and Russian citizens will receive the shots free of charge. Golikova has asked heads of Russian regions to provide reports on their capacity to distribute Sputnik 5. Moscow will determine the volume of supplies based on the availability of necessary equipment, storage conditions, the number of trained personnel, and the establishment of vaccination points. And it kind of just goes on to reiterate the same thing with a few small details here and there. Let me see. Yep. Nothing else. Oh, that was it. Pretty short read. Like I mentioned, this was on RT News. Just dropped December 2nd. So not long ago at all. You can type in this title of the article if you want to bring it out or just read through it yourself. But like I mentioned before, this vaccination is nothing more than a precursor to the mark of the beast, which is the microchip. And the government is striving to get everybody to the point where they're relying on them, whether it's in Russia or America or anywhere else. That's the entire point. To get everybody to the point where they're relying on them and you believe in this government, you believe in the powers of this world, and then boom, when the economy crashes, well then guess what? We helped you out with the vaccination or with this COVID. So now we're going to help you out with or when there's famine, when the economy crashes, when the dollar collapses, when there's no more shelter, when there's theft. And they're going to present that microchip. So this is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And this is how they're going to cause everybody to receive that mark. They're going to cause it by what? By means of making it a usable for a transaction. And this is how we know that the economy has to collapse. The economy has to collapse because this microchip is going to be the main way of buying and selling, trading, getting goods, getting food. It's going to be the main way of survival, basically. Now, really quickly, let's look up that word, causeth. 16 is what I need. 16, and he causeth. Let's see what it says in the Greek.
Strong's G 4160. Poieo.
Poieo, it says poieo. Let me turn that off now. It says to make, with the names of things made, to produce, to make ready or prepare. It's not bad. To render one anything, to constitute or appoint one anything. And basically, they're going to write it into their constitution. But they're going to make it legislature for sure. It's going to be made a law, and they're going to designate that everybody has to get that mark of the beast. They're going to definitely appoint it, and it's going to be made mandatory. And this is what they want. This is how they're planning on establishing their new world order, by making so everybody gets that mark. They want everybody to be a perpetual slave and to know everything about them. And all your information is going to be on that chip. Let me get this. Faith. This popped up in my head. Let me make sure. Let me see if I can get this. Faith is small. Old Testament. Faith weak, maybe? Okay, let me do this. Faint adversity. That has to pop up. There it is. Proverbs 24, verse 10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is what it says is small. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. And what does it mean to faint? It basically means that you became feeble and you were weak-minded. And I mentioned it when we were out there pushing this word in Baltimore on Tuesday evening. I mentioned through the Spirit that you have to pray that the Lord strengthens your mind, because that's what it's all about. With the temptation that we're going to be coming into very, very soon, with these, the vaccination eventually being made mandatory, with the microchip most definitely being made mandatory, with actual famine, with the economy collapsing, everything, robbery, theft, all these things coming down the pipe. And then we most definitely need a strong spirit and a strong mind. But If you faint in that day, meaning if you're weak in that time of trouble, we can substitute adversity for that time of trouble. It says your strength is small, meaning you lack faith at the end of the day. And we have to pray for, like I mentioned, a strong mind, a strong spirit, and that the Lord increases our faith in him, because that's the only way that we're going to be able to make it through these days. Matter of fact, Yahweh Shai said it himself in the book of Matthew 24 about enduring unto the end. Let me see. It says this gospel, let no man pray. Let me see. I can't find it. Oh, Matthew 24 verse 13, it says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And of course, we know that word endure basically goes into being made hard. And when you're made hard, that means you have a strong mind at the end of the day. And you're stable. You're stable. You're standing strong. You're erect. You're upright. That's what the word endure goes back into. But you're only standing strong when you have a strong mind. That's why the book of 2nd Ezra talked about those that stood so stiffly, it says, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. But if you endure to the end, the same shall be saved. In the book of Revelation, it talks about those that got the victory over the beast and his image and his mark. And that's what it's all about. That's how you endure. You get the victory over the beast, his image, and his mark. How do you do that? By having faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So I just wanted to bring out that article really quickly. There it is again, if you missed it. And I do pray that the elect were edified. These are basically the times that we're coming into. Mass vaccination. And this is going to come to America too. I didn't mention that, but this mass vaccination, it's not going to just be in Russia. It's going to be everywhere. America and all over the world, basically. And then the microchip. So call the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. The belongings to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. Shalom.